Trump has no vested interest in conflict, which is why he has been able to solve them. That's why the globalists hate him, because he's solving the conflicts. It cuts down the globalist money tree. Now, if you recall, 4 days into the Russian-Ukraine war, I'm going to prove this to you folks, there were talks of peace and deals, and they were meeting face-to-face between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine was about to agree to no NATO membership. And then the European nations, and eventually Joe Biden, pushed for the Ukraine to join NATO, destroying peace talks. I mean, great job, guys. That's what Marco Rubio is talking about regarding reforming things like NATO. Beyond Ukraine or Gaza or even the Iraq war, I could do this with basically everything they've done ever. The UN has been doing stuff in Africa for decades. They've spent like over $1 trillion in that continent for over the same time period. And you know what their starvation rate did? In 1990, overall in the continent of Africa, 20 to 30% of its people were starving. Today, it's 22.1%. 4%. Basically the same thing after $1 trillion spent. Why? Well, because one, third world countries in Africa are third world because of their people, many with IQs under 60, still living in mud huts, and not because of oppression, shockingly. But more importantly, the great purveyors of the globalist agenda, the aid and help that we were told was going there to solve everything, aren't actually going there, but rather being used as bribes and gifts for guys like Matthew Zahui, or however you say his name, the director of financial management at the U.S. African Development Foundation, who just pled guilty to it. That guy was appointed by the so-called experts. Experts that today and this weekend were applauded for displaying some of the most incoherent babbling.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy.
Oh, foreign policying. It took her 30 seconds to spit out the last. Can you imagine that woman negotiating with Xi Jinping? Gretchen Whitmer, another one, the governor of Michigan. I don't know why she's in Munich talking about foreign policy. Likely to run for president in 2028, though, admits to not knowing anything.
On Ukraine, what does victory look like?
Ambassador? No, please. I'd love to hear your answer.
Yeah, it is. The two that I am on the panel with are much more steeped in foreign policy than a governor is. But you know, I do think that Ukraine's independence, keeping their land mass, and having the support of all the allies, I think is the goal.
Yeah. Peace and things and stuff. I bet you can't say why you hold that opinion. And then guess what? They got a round of applause. Like, for what? Nonsense pipe dream foreign policy. Policy that would then have to be enforced by tough men with guns, both of which their party claims to hate. It's pretty ironic, isn't it? They know nothing. And just listen to them.
Marco Rubio's speech was a pure appeal to Western culture. My favorite part was when he said that American cowboys came from Spain.
I thought they came from Winnetou, but
I believe the Mexicans and descendants of African enslaved peoples would like to have a word.
Imagine having the same name as the man who brought horses to Mexico in 1519, Hernan Cortez, and not knowing it. And then trying to call out the Secretary of the State for your own historical illiteracy. These people are morons. There are people that think they know everything. They've never fixed anything, not because of Trump, but because of them. The Dunning-Kruger effect in full display. The dumber you are, the smarter you think you are. Why the governor of Michigan is speaking in Munich on foreign policy, or AOC, who was a bartender a few years ago, is just beyond me. Claiming they're fighting the oligarchy while kissing the ring of billionaires like Alex Soros, whose father made their billions toppling nations' financial systems, shorting the Bank of England and toppling their currency, crashing it. Thailand, Malaysia, too. We're done playing with these globalists. We're not going to run from our success anymore and apologize. That's what Marco Rubio was getting at. We're not ashamed of it in the name of social justice or immigration or carbon footprints or the new world, whatever. Pick one. Pedophiles. America is acting in America's best interest. We are the might, we are the money, and we are the economic engine of this planet.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.